Right now at noon, a Joplin man is charged following a police pursuit that turned into an officer-involved shooting.
And the wind starting to pick up back behind this front into parts of southeast Kansas, and that will continue across the area through the afternoon into the evening. We'll have a look at that and our weekend forecast coming up.
Plus, a major investment in healthcare is now open in the O Show.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, a Joplin man has now been charged after a police chase in Joplin leads to an officer-involved shooting. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Samantha Walker. The incident happened yesterday morning when a JPD officer spotted a suspected impaired driver on Main Street. The chase began after the driver drove away following a stop attempt. Once finally stopped, the driver drove towards the officer, who then fired shots. Authorities arrested the man after he rammed another patrol car. No officers were injured. JPD placed the involved officer on administrative leave during the investigation. The driver, Phil Berkebile III, 20 of Joplin, was transported to a local hospital suffering non-life-threatening injuries from a gunshot wound and a vehicle crash. The Newton County prosecutor has now submitted charges against Berkebile for second-degree assault on a special victim, aggravated fleeing, property damage, and DWI. He is currently in the Newton County Jail on a no-bond hold. Now let's check in with Chris Warner for a look at the forecast.
We are clearing out across the area, as you can see from our camera downtown Pittsburgh. Clouds off to the east, so that's the front rolling through. Much further behind it, places like Fredonia, Yates Center, those winds are starting to gust upwards of 40 to 45 miles an hour, and those winds will continue to increase across the region as that front gets a little further to our east. Modoc camera, 32nd in range line, looking good. The sun is shining out there. We started yesterday at 34, made it up to 61, just 7 degrees shy of a record high, which would have been back in 1962. Right now, though, and I wanted to show these temperatures because if the winds were gusting, as is updated every so often, don't have them yet, and you can see our cameras aren't shaking that much. We're at 52 in Joplin right now. On the Pittsburgh side, we are sitting at 54, and we got that west-northwest breeze at 8. But again, back behind the front, the winds, as I checked earlier, Yates Center, it's starting to pick up. But take a look, Yates Center, you've actually warmed back up. And some locations off to our west have warmed back up into the upper 50s. So the expectation again was that temperatures would gradually drop, but it has warmed up a smidge more out there, and we will continue to have temperatures, especially after sunset, start to wind down into the low 30s by 11 o'clock tonight. And we'll have those gusty winds. They won't be as gusty once we reach a little later into the evening, but still a bit breezy before they start to ease up a bit after midnight, switching out of the west. We'll still have a breezy day tomorrow, a little cooler out there, and our weekend looking pretty good. We'll go over those details with you in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Thanks, Chris. For the first time, the Community Blood Center of the Ozarks is holding a blood drive at Mercy Hospital Pittsburgh this Friday. This comes on the heels of the formation of their partnership earlier this fall to make CBCO the exclusive supplier for the Pittsburgh Hospital. Ozark has already surpassed its goal of getting 20 people to sign up to donate.
Sometimes don't think about it until one of our loved ones is in need, an accident victim, difficulty in childbirth, certainly cancer treatments, heart procedures. All of these things require blood and blood products, and we get it from our amazing donors.
Friday's blood drive will be held from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the DePaul Hall section of the hospital. You can schedule an appointment by visiting the CBCO website. Well, major investment in healthcare is now open in the O Show. Freeman Health System spent $3.6 million on a new rehabilitation facility that promises to bring advanced care closer to home. KOAM's Mitch Adams shows us what makes this facility different.
Freeman Health System presented their new rehabilitation facility in Neosho with a ribbon-cutting ceremony. The 8,300 square foot facility, which costs around $3.6 million to complete, will now offer close-to-home healthcare and rehabilitation therapy services for people in the area.
With the introduction of this new facility, we're able to offer a lot more treatments, a lot more room for our patients, and just a better atmosphere for our patients. And so we're really excited to share that with the community.
Officials say that the facility will have a better opportunity to personalize the care for each individual case and diagnosis.
We're going to be able to evaluate that diagnosis, and we're going to be able to provide individualized treatment for your condition. What you will not get here is a canned program. We're not just going to give you 10 exercises to do, and that's what everybody does. It's going to be specific for your condition and your abilities.
The state-of-the-art facility hopes to provide localized care for those in the area who need it, while providing more options to people in the community who will utilize them.
If you look at the statistics and outcome data, patients that are treated closer to home, they actually perform a little bit better, and they have better outcomes. So we want to do everything we can as a community provider of healthcare to ensure that we're investing in our communities and we're doing things that allow for them to recover and heal most appropriately.
In Neosho, Missouri, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Well, according to Freeman Health System, the facility contains 5 private treatment rooms, a large gym, and new equipment for aquatic therapy. Well, ribbon cutting ceremonies mark special moments, and this one delivered the keys to a local homeowner whose house was rebuilt by students. Carthage Technical Center carpentry students partnered with Habitat for Humanity to completely remodel a Clinton Street home after a fire destroyed much of it. The ceremony brought together students, Habitat staff, and community members to celebrate the project.
It took us around a year. By the time we get started as students and we learn like tools and safety and stuff, and then we get started on a project, it took the course of 2 classes, 2 different years, but it took around a calendar year to complete.
Under the direction of their instructors, students gained hands-on experience while helping restore a safe and affordable home for the family. Well, yesterday in Columbus, Kansas, Central Elementary 2nd grade students spread Christmas cheer as they caroled around the square. They visited a few of the businesses and sang some holiday classics. Teachers say it's a great way for students to deliver Christmas spirit. Well, coming up, we sit down one-on-one with Missouri Senator Josh Hawley to discuss lawmakers' ongoing work to make a deal on health care. And later, we're making ultimate scalloped potatoes in a Mr. Food Test Kitchen. The clock is ticking on Congress reaching a deal to extend health care subsidies before lawmakers leave Washington for the holidays. Without action, millions of Americans, including more than 1 million across the 4 states, could see higher insurance premiums starting January 1st. KOAM's Blake Goley is here with the details.
As Congress prepares to leave Washington for the holidays, lawmakers are still working to reach an agreement on health care. This week, senators from both parties met to discuss a possible 2-year extension of the Affordable Care Act subsidies, a measure Missouri Senator Josh Hawley has supported.
I've talked to members of both parties for months now on this subject, and as my voting reflects, I'm for doing something that will help working people. So I would just say to colleagues in both parties, both sides of the aisle, let's find some solution here. I mean, no solution is perfect. I haven't seen any bill yet that I thought was absolutely tremendous, but you got to start somewhere. And my view is the goal has got to be to get the cost of health care down.
Hawley says the stakes are especially high in Missouri, where hundreds of thousands of residents rely on the federal insurance marketplace.
Well, this is why I voted to extend the subsidies, is because I'm worried too. I'm very worried. 500,000 people just in Missouri get their insurance on the exchange. They buy private insurance on the exchange. And I've seen the numbers. 200, 300% increases in cost for many, many people, depending on where they live in the state, on the exchange. I just don't know how they're going to afford it. And that's why I voted to extend the subsidies and to try to keep premiums low. I mean, I just am not in favor of sitting back and saying, well, you're on your own. I mean, that's just not going to work. People need the help.
Without an agreement in place, the future of the subsidies remain uncertain. Blake Gully, KOAM News.
Any extension would need final approval from both chambers before it could take effect. Well, still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Just wait until you see how I can turn into one of the most requested dishes on the holiday table.
It's like magic. And just wait and see what our weekend forecast looks like. It's not magic, but we'll have the latest on that when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at Noon on this Thursday here in the 4 states. And skies are beginning to clear across the region, as you can see. And that's actually allowed some of our western counties to warm up a bit more than what was expected. Back into the upper 50s out there. We're going to start, though, with that live look. And if you look, we're looking roughly southeast from downtown Pittsburgh. So the clouds are pushing on out of the area, and they will continue to do so, eventually leaving us with clear skies. And we still have red flag warnings in place for a good portion of the area through 6 this evening. So as we discussed this morning, absolutely no outdoor burning, and be responsible if you're discarding smoking materials. Make sure you do it in a safe manner. You don't just want to flick it out the car window, or if you go outside to do that, you don't want to just toss it in the backyard. You need to be extra cautious today. And of course, we still have the wind advisories, which have now been expanded for the entire area. I'm not surprised by that at all, but it now includes every county in our viewing area. However, with the expansion in our eastern counties, the ones for southwest Missouri, and then for Bourbon, Crawford, and Cherokee counties in southeast Kansas, because that falls under the Springfield Weather Office, these now run until 8 this evening. The others still run until 6 this evening, and for the same reason, those wind gusts 45 to 55 miles an hour. Now, they're starting to pick up in our northwestern counties, the winds are, and they will continue to do so, pulling southeast, and since it's taking a little longer for those winds to increase, that's why, especially to the east, these advisories have been extended through 8 o'clock this evening. We will continue with gusty winds, perhaps a cloud or two here or there, but otherwise we should have clear skies. And again, it won't be until late this evening. Oh my goodness, I apologize. That's the wrong button again. It won't be until late this evening that those winds will begin to die down. They won't stop, but they'll ease up considerably after midnight, shifting out of the west at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. And then as we go through the day on our Friday, those winds will shift back out of the south by mid to late morning tomorrow, and they'll start gusting again upwards of 25 miles an hour. So still, especially high-profile vehicles tomorrow on any east-west highways, you need to be careful. Those winds are going to pick up again, but thankfully not as much as what they're going to be today. Now, we did have very gusty winds immediately ahead of that front. And then right on the flip side, they eased up. But like I said, they are increasing from northwest to southeast across the area, and a very windy day in store for us indeed. The rest of our Friday, though, again, other than a passing cloud or two and those gusty winds, not bad. We're a little cooler. We'll be closer to normal tomorrow, but even then, we'll still technically be above average. We go Friday night into Saturday, same situation. We still have those south winds out there, but what we do get is by about noon, another cold front comes in. Now, this one doesn't have a huge impact on our temperatures, but we could see south winds start to increase ahead of that front with maybe some gusty north winds on the backside of it, and it'll bring our temperatures down a bit, but even with that drop, we'll still be above normal heading into Saturday night. All right, so again, highs today, well, many of us hit these temperatures very early this morning, upper 50s, low 60s, but again, our western counties, warming back up a bit. In fact, the 8th center is back into the upper 50s after dropping into the upper 40s behind the front this morning. But those of you far enough ahead may not do much more warming. Some of us have come back down in the low 50s. You may just level out there. And those northwest winds, again, gusting 45, 55 miles an hour across the area. Overnight tonight, just a degree or two below average. So, yeah, it's colder, but not significantly below normal, which is all right. West winds 5 to 10, and we'll have those clear skies out there back into the mid-20s. By tomorrow, we're about 50, and our average high again, 47, 48 degrees, so not significantly above normal, but a little cooler than where we were today and where some of us are right now. And those south winds, as I mentioned, will pick back up again, gusting to 25. We head into the weekend, again, warmer on Saturday, low 60s. That cold front makes us a wee bit cooler heading into Sunday, low 50s. Could have a few evening sprinkles Sunday, and then as we head into Christmas, man, I tell you, I wish I had better news. At least, we don't need a blizzard necessarily for Christmas, but it'd be nice if it felt like Christmas. Unfortunately, it will not as we go into the mid to upper 60s, getting closer. But like I said, some of the benefits, if you're traveling, especially if you're traveling locally, you don't have to worry about road conditions. And the kids, when they open their toys, they can take them outside.
Yes.
And you can relax for a minute while they go play outside.
Well, thanks, Chris. Stick around. We're making ultimate scalloped potatoes in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. We're making ultimate scalloped potatoes in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
To me, Christmas just isn't complete without some kind of really good potato casserole. And the one we're making today is nothing short of amazing. Since it's creamy, it's satisfying, and it couldn't be easier. First, we thinly slice some baking potatoes. Of course, we can use a knife, but if you have a mandolin or a food processor, now's the time to dig those out. If you want, you could even pick up a bag of those pre-sliced potatoes in the dairy case, and it's a real time saver. Either way, we layer them in a baking dish and top them off with a bit of salt and pepper, a little bit of flour, some Parmesan cheese, and a few pats of butter. Since that was so easy, we're going to repeat that a few more times until all the potatoes are used up. Now we slowly pour some milk, or since it's Christmas, we can use half and half, and we pour that over the whole thing. Then we'll bake it off for an hour or so. And when this comes out, bubbling hot and with the top golden brown, you'll be amazed that you made this with just a few off-the-shelf ingredients. And because it's so easy and affordable, I bet you'll be making this for dinner all year long. I hope you'll go online and get the recipe for our ultimate scallop potatoes. This way you'll have it on hand for the holidays and beyond. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, and I look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow as I share another holiday recipe that I know will have you saying, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, big story, those gusty winds with wind advisories running through 6 and 8 p.m. across the region. Gusts 45 to 55 miles an hour possible. Be back down in the mid-20s tonight. South winds gusting 25 tomorrow, about 50. Warmer Saturday, few evening showers Sunday, and a very, I guess you'd say maybe a Florida or Georgia-like Christmas ahead as temperatures warm again into the low, mid, and even upper 60s, getting closer to the holidays. So, like I said, at least the kids can go out and play with whatever they get the same day they get it. They don't have to wait or be in the house driving you up the wall.
Santa can wear his Bermuda shorts this year.
Definitely. Well, thanks, Chris. What do you have coming up for us tonight?
Well, a lot's coming up at 5. For starters, cases of measles in this country keep rising, and now the state of North Carolina says it's confirmed a case of measles in a person who traveled through busy Raleigh-Durham airport last week. The cases are mainly impacting unvaccinated children, with the most recent outbreak in South Carolina. Plus, we're going to have details on the upcoming property tax due date, what taxpayers need to know. And the Cherokee County Health Department hopes to help new parents keep their babies safe by holding a safe sleep class. Hope you join us for those stories, a lot more, of course. It's coming up on KOAM News at 5.
Well, those sound great, Dow. Thank you so much. That's the news for now. Thank you for joining us for KOAM News at noon. Have a great afternoon.